What's good, y'all? It's Clyde, aka Archangels Adele, and right now I'm giving the astrology reading for 7/11, 2022, and then I'm giving a tarot card reading. Also, remember that astrology readings on a universal scale take 3 weeks to take place on a universal level. And natal readings for a personal spirit, they take place 3 days after they are read. So that's not to say that the intuition of reading a situation, like knowing something's about to happen and then seeing it happen, that's different in a smaller scale of reading an alignment. That's like reading a present alignment on a very micro scale that's on the same level as you, instead of reading them on a grander scale or reading them on a past scale as a birth. To say, this is the doorway that you came into the world. See, Aries in Aries, along with 16 degrees Chiron, our wound is in the same alignment as our highest idea of ourself. And our midheaven is in Taurus, so our universe is in a position where the direct center is focusing on practicality in terms of using our voice and all our forms of truth to the most extreme degree, making sure to unapologetically speak our mind. Uranus is falling in Taurus, so that corresponds to we are at a stalemate when it comes to creating our new world that we have had envisioned for this alignment currently in the sky. But our North Node and also Venus is in Taurus, so that corresponds to our deepest desire and our current state of our collective thoughts that pulls into feelings is in the correct position. So the stalemate is just a low point in the wave that is in a constant expansion further out into polarities and a constant condensing further into the midheaven or the mid pillar or the hearts of the center of ourselves. Mercury and Sun in Gemini, so that corresponds to the message that the being we are living in is sending us messages in order to connect with us and with what we cannot see, more so. And in order to do that, we need to stop directing our focus, which is also a form of conscious rest or consciously remaining unconscious. That is because Gemini is a core part of space itself. So the main focus of the universe, which is the light of our solar system, is also the focus on air or space, or actually what we have no label for, but we just point to with words. So our higher revelation or realization and basically the focal point that we have, the cause of our focal point, which is the black moon, because the cause in terms of the black moon, when relating to the regular moon, which we see every night, the black moon is the moon's unconscious. So the sun is what would be the conscious, and the moon would be what would be considered the subconscious, and then the black moon would be what would be considered the unconscious. And then the Lilith is like our higher revelation or our super realization, our super what am I trying to say? That's like our super full moon. So our Lilith is like our combination of not the entire collective of a realization, like coming to starting at one point and then ending at another as a fully learned lesson, as a new ability, as a good grade, as a a new item that you've gained. That's what Lilith is on like a Lilith would be like a country making a great discovery, or a country changing the world in an amazing way. And then next alignment for the same thing of this time, but when it comes back around full circle, it'd be a new country. And then somehow that all be connected when you really look at it in a deeper sense. And then that's how Lilith relates to the black moon, because Lilith builds up and fills the black moon. So Lilith is like where we send our revelations together. And then Lilith pulls over into the black moon along with the moon. That's how the black moon becomes black, because it's like it's oversaturated from Lilith and the moon itself, because the moon is already a collection of what you're not focusing on. So this is just an example of how you can see the simplicity and also the complicated nature of the idea and the real thing that is antimatter, or the physical manifestation of the unconscious realm that we actually are. So that is to say that literally we have to realize that the unconscious realm that we do not focus on, that we have no ability to control, manifests, and is beginning to manifest its physical body. That's what this is trying to tell us. This is symbolic of our personal full moon and the world's unconscious alignment on the same side. So the realization that we're all coming to is what the world we live in has yet to realize. Sirius is in Cancer. This corresponds to the world we live in. Asking us in its alignment to eat exactly what we want, or in other words, to become whatever we feel like becoming. So eating corresponds to what we inhale, what we chew and swallow, and what we just swallow. And we can see when Sirius is in Cancer, like it is, the world begins to purge it. So any of the disease that it feels within it, or any words, or excuse me, let me just start. And we can see when Sirius is in Cancer, like it is when the world begins to purge itself of any diseases that it feels within itself. This also means that this is an action and alignment involved with karma on a grand scale. So Lilith and the black moon in Cancer is just an alignment of karmic buildup on a non-physical scale becoming physical, because we know Cancer is the crab, that's the shell, and we know crabs molt their shell and become stronger, bigger, because they end up cracking their shell. Once they become too swollen, they hibernate and they crack their shell open to become something better. We all know how hard a crab shell is. It's like a roach, a water roach. So, that also ties into ourselves and what's actually about to come out of that shell, because the shell is actually symbolic of us birthing something into the world from our unconscious higher self, which is also the which is also a part of the black moon itself, because our unconscious higher self uses the black moon, or what is the unconscious of the world, to it uses that to know like what's coming, because that's literally how you use your intuition. So that's what I'm trying to say. This is the world using its intuition and trying to show us an example of the energies we need to take on to be able to use our intuition properly. Because the best way to maintain life itself is to use your feelings and your intuition. You have to let go of the shell that we are and shed that. And you actually have to be soft sometimes. Sometimes you have to feel soft. And then when you feel soft, you can realize where there's differences in the energies, because energy takes on every form. So in order to feel out every form, you have to step out of the singular energies that are solid, frozen, the dead singular energies. And then you have to get into the moving energies, like fire, because we know fire is how we rebirth ourselves. That's how we become anew and transform. We always go through fire to step back into a gaseous state and then come back, rain as water, and then freeze ourselves, get cold, which we all know what cold does to water. It makes it big. It pops those bottles. It makes it makes the ice trays swell up. So we know to make something cold, we expand it, and to burn something or to rebirth it, to turn it to the phoenix, to get it into that gaseous state, we burn it. And how do we burn something? If we freeze something and it expands, we burn something and it condenses. So we make something as small as possible to burn it. And we go in something and make it bigger to our own perception to freeze it. That's the key. That's the key of intuition, expansion and contraction. Because you step into one form, simultaneously allowing yourself to be aware of the other form, so that the forms can coexist together. So you know when one step is a misstep, and then when another step is the perfect step. Because you know everything exists in everything. Like I always say, nothing exists in nothing. There's always all possibilities. You just have to realize at the time what's impossible and what's possible. There's always something there. With Pluto and Vertex in Capricorn, it is most important to find new practical ways to be ourselves, more so than we have been in the past, excuse me. I was typing this instead of typing it because I felt like it was going to be long. And to look at ourselves in a light of perfection, so we know that the tools we have are all we need to be the very best we want our life to be. The moon is in Pisces, so this is important to know, because it is a time where feelings can become so intense, because Pisces is the most intuitive. Pisces is the most intuitive, most intense with our feelings and emotions, because the time of Pisces is when we learn what feelings really are and why we need them. So as the world accumulates an intuitive pulse, we have already sent that out to the world ahead of time through our instincts. That's how we help it do its job. We use our intuition from our inner world to save ourselves with actions of instincts and allow the world to learn from us. We literally teach God its knowledge and it teaches us in return. How crazy is that? Because I was taught that I had to learn from God. When I really ventured on my own, I saw that God really used me to know what was going on in its realm. Because everything that God does, it uses what we do on this scale, on a small scale, on its scale in a different way. But the feelings all remain the same. That's why they try to say, walk with God, because in a sense, God feels like it's walking when you're walking in some realm. God speaks. God experiences things. It senses things. It tastes things. It is everything. It is everything at once. And the fact that we are the makeup of that, we are that too. So that's why we have to realize that everything we are is everything we need to be. There's nothing to worship. There's nothing to be less than. There's nothing to be above. It's all here. We actually learn where we have fallen out of alignment through its own design of reflecting what we were. The only thing that God really does is ask us to be, and then it is a present moment, emotion, and fear as a future basement. So when you look into something that isn't a higher truth, you either face forward, backward, or sideways. We need to be able to see in a 360-degree view as if we were a ball of clear glass. Because in reality, we are that, even though we may appear to be something else. You can direct your eyes to move and look to the right or left, but can you look behind you while watching TV? Can you see what's below you and above you too? Remember when you didn't have anything to see this world with, and all of a sudden you did. We have to balance the most important details of life with the harmful things that manifest out of what we can't control. This is our time because we need to make sure we do the things we need to do and the things we want to do. Whatever we want to do is what we need to do right now. And we need to do these things without thinking about anything beforehand. The time is to let go of a second thought and to just act without a first one. And to that I say, huzzah, we shall live, scream carpe diem. Because even though life is evil, we have learned to control the most destructive thing in existence and turn it to the only thing that you can live as and be at the height of the emotional state and willing. Nothing is better than nothing at all. And that's all I got. So I'm about to give y'all the tarot reading. That's the astrology reading. I'm gonna give y'all the tarot reading right here. So we got a right side up moon. Whoa, who took my moon page out? Let's get it. Sun, moon. Connect with your intuition and subconscious mind. You are experiencing the subtle forces of nature, especially the lunar cycles. Allow yourself to flow with these energies. Next, we have right side up sun. You are surrounded by warmth, radiance, and vitality, which means you are full of life. You are lit up and getting brighter every time you look. Energized by possibility, growth, and success, radiate your light and shine it on the world. And then we have a right side up 5 of swords. We got 3 right side up today. Let's see, 5 of swords. We have, you have been engaged in a win-lose conflict. Trust has been broken and you feel that you are acting in competition with others rather than in collaboration. Look for common ground or seek forgiveness to move forward. All right, y'all. I'm gonna let y'all get back to y'all day. And then I'm gonna try to make sure that I make myself a benefit of something today. And that's all. Because every day I wanna get better. And if I can make something better, I will. Let's get it, y'all. Get in some nature. Let's do it.